If you follow the UFC long enough, you start to notice moments when the sport feels bigger than a fight. Moments when the heat in the arena rises, the commentators fall silent, and you can almost sense history pulling itself into place.
No, I'm bringing you to 7th layer hell. We'll say what's up to your dad while we're there.
Oh! Never talk about my mom. Never talk about.
What's good?
That's the energy behind UFC 323. There's something different in the air this time, and at the center of it all are two fighters who don't need trash talk, drama, or hype to keep people watching. Merab Dvalishvili and Petr Yan already built their storyline with blood, pace, and pressure the first time they met. They left with questions, tension, and a rivalry that never cooled down. Now the rematch is finally here, UFC 323. Merab vs. Yan 2 is set for Saturday, December 6th, 2025, live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and it promises to be one of those nights fans talk about long after the lights fade out. Before we get deep into the main event, here's the rundown. Event: UFC 323, Merab vs. Yan 2. Date: Saturday, December 6th, 2025. Location: T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. Start times: prelims, 7 p.m., ET on ESPN and ESPN+. Main card, 10 p.m., ET on ESPN plus PPV. Now let's break it down. Merab vs. Yan wasn't just a fight. It was a pressure cooker. It was a wrestler with an engine that never breaks versus a striker who reads movement like a computer. Merab attempted takedown after takedown, pushing a speed most fighters can't survive. Yan fought back sharp and angry, stuffing certain shots, firing clean counters, and refusing to fold. By the time it ended, both men walked out knowing the rivalry was far from settled. Yan questioned decisions. Merab insisted he could have pushed even harder. Fans were split. Analysts were loud. And the division? The division felt the aftershocks. This rematch is bigger now. They aren't just fighting each other. They're fighting for their place at the top of one of the most competitive weight classes in the UFC. Merab's style is a nightmare. It's not pretty, it's not gentle, and it doesn't give opponents a second of peace. He pushes forward like the fight owes him something. That's what makes him dangerous. So many fighters break not from what he lands, but from what they know is coming next. Yan is the opposite. He doesn't need chaos to win. He needs patience. His striking is clean and measured. He waits, he reads, he finds the timing, and then he punishes mistakes. He's built entire careers off fighters, thinking they can overwhelm him. And when he locks in, it's hard to break him mentally. Their first meeting told us one thing: neither man fears the other. Merab believes he can drown Yan. Yan believes he can time Merab and make him pay. That's why this second fight feels so heavy. It's not just a rematch, it's a collision between two mindsets that refuse to give an inch. Las Vegas has hosted some of the wildest UFC events in history, and T-Mobile Arena always seems to bring out the electricity in these big fight cards. By the time the prelims kick off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, the place will already feel alive. Prelims are where you see angry fighters swinging for opportunity. These aren't guys trying to play it safe. These are fighters who want to force the UFC to remember their names. Every punch, every scramble, every moment matters, because a good performance here can change someone's entire career. When the main card starts at 10 p.m. ET, the tone shifts. This is where storylines meet pressure. Everyone on the card knows the spotlight is brighter, and the consequences are bigger. Rising contenders trying to shake up rankings, fighters who have been waiting months for this exact moment. Merab is riding a career wave that most fighters never get to experience. He's beaten some of the top names in the division and done it with a style that looks built to last. His cardio is wild. His commitment to constant movement is something coaches admire and opponents fear. But the thing about Merab is this: he's not flashy. He doesn't chase highlight reel knockouts or dramatic finishes. He wants to break you slowly, round after round, until the bell rings and you can barely stand. Merab chases the grind. And it works. For him, this rematch isn't personal. At least that's what he says. But anyone who watched their first fight could feel the tension. Merab wants to prove he didn't just beat Yan. He wants to show he is simply the better fighter, period. Petr Yan's journey has been a rough ride. He's had questionable losses, controversial scorecards, and moments where the path back to the top felt longer than it should. But Yan has a trait that you can't teach: stubbornness. And in fighting, stubbornness, when combined with skill, keeps you dangerous. When Yan is in rhythm, he looks like the smartest striker in the division. His footwork is clean, his defense is tight. His ability to counter is something you can't train in a gym. It's instinct and experience mixing at the perfect moment. He believes the first fight didn't show the real version of him. He believes this second fight will, to push through the kind of rounds that would drown most fighters. Even though the spotlight is on Merab and Yan, UFC 323 is stacked with names that could steal the show. Heavy hitters, slick grapplers, and matchups that guarantee movement from the opening bell. It's one of those cards where you don't want to skip the early fights because someone could deliver a knockout that becomes the talk of the night. The bantamweight division has always been one of the toughest weight classes in the UFC. Everyone in the top 10 can beat anyone else on the right night. That's why this fight matters so much. Whoever wins this rematch isn't just moving up. They're stepping into a future filled with title talk, rivalry matchups, and big money fights. This isn't the kind of division where you get easy nights. Every win matters. Every loss becomes a setback. And a rematch like this is the kind of fight that shapes the entire top of the rankings. Be ready on Saturday, December 6th. If their first fight was a storm, this one might be a full-blown collision.